Lady, the problem isn't in my pants. Mex-Men.
Know what you're referencing a little bit, and he has no idea what you're referencing.
Trust the process?
Yeah.
Yeah, not really.
No.
I hear it all the time,
He says things with
That's why I
confidence.
said you kind of.
but I know there's a specific coach who says that shit. But I don't know who that coach is.
It's for a basketball team, the 76ers, because they were extreme shit for years and years and years, and then they got like fucking. Now they have like 3 number 1 draft picks on their team, and they're really good.
No,
Because everybody would say like, "Oh, you guys fucking suck ass," and I'll just trust the process.
Yes, I knew it was from a coach, but everybody steals that saying.
See,
and
that's why I said I vaguely think you know, but I didn't.
No, I think Justin just has a tone of voice that like it just sounds like he's always speaking with such confidence that he knows what he's talking about, even when he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I backed it up slightly.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying that's not like always comes off as if. Oh no, he's confident enough of what he's saying that like he definitely knows.
Well, I'm giving it to him because he was in the ballpark of sports.
Coach, I provided sort of source.
It was the players, but
The players said trust the process?
Yeah.
That was it.
Because the
I don't
player,
think it's a unique sentiment anyway.
but the players said that he was injured he was like a 3rd overall draft pick and injured for the fucking first 2 years, and everybody thought his career was done. And now he's like an MVP candidate like 2 years later.
That's what happens when you trust the process.
Yeah. That's why it's their look. That's their slogan. I wish I could have Jesse's Coke.
That's so stupid. Anyway, welcome to Mex-Men.
You gotta tell me when.
I gave you a signal, and I gave you a signal, and you were all about this trust the
We were
process.
just having
thing.
a friend.
My back is
friendly
like to you
conversation.
based on this mic, so I didn't see the signal.
Yeah. Also,
I 100% did
You
it.
get side eye.
yeah, but welcome to this issue of Mex-Men. I'm Tony.
I'm Justin.
I'm Devin.
Yeah, and
I definitely gave a signal.
The bat
No,
signal.
No, he did it. He did it all. But for you gotta trust this process. Speaking of this process, we're gonna be going over the process that Jonathan Hickman used to write HOX and POX.
You made that sound sexual at first.
Yeah.
Trust this process.
That's because everything we do is just gleaming with sexuality.
Yeah.
He watched.
Have you heard your voice recorded?
Occasionally.
We just talked about it.
Yeah. It's like if like silk was a sound.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll take it.
Yeah, but like with something firm was under that silk.
Like a dick.
But yeah, anyway, so Hickman's process. It's like he watched a Tarantino movie and was like, "What if I do that 3 times over?"
Yeah, like you could tell there's definitely a bunch of stuff that like, oh, Soylent Green, I want to get like a dystopian like that, and then he read that was the loudest. That was the loudest ever putting a cap. You did that into the microphone. Oh, professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we make the no bucks. But yeah, we're gonna be going over the first 6 issues, or I guess first 3 issues of HOX and the first 3 issues of POX, which is House of X and Power of 10.
In an order that will not surprise you because they listed in the back.
S-mouth veg.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be this issue of Mex-Men. We're not.
Well, that's because it's got, and this is a gross way to have cleaned it off, but it can't go back in the vag without being cleaned off because that's dangerous. It's unhealthy for the woman.
I like to live dangerously.
Oh, shit.
But do they? Jesus.
Didn't even ask.
Dealer's choice.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but I'm sticking to it. So you want to?
Yeah.
We don't really have the setup issues this week. So.
Yeah. So it's a weird story that gets broken down into, and he's a liar for saying this, for saying it isn't this. 4 different timelines. It's technically all one timeline, but they're time periods.
Yeah, time periods, but there's like 9 different times, or 11
10 different. Yeah, well, potentially 11 different timelines.
Yeah,
But all of the same person.
I think towards the end they confirm it was there was another one, but that's for next episode.
Yeah, spoilers. Turns out, like, the big reveal is that Moira McTaggart.
For literally the last page of the last book.
Moira McTaggart's a mutant this whole time.
Yeah.
And so her powers is to reincarnate.
Her powers is to
Yeah. Well,
The powers of 10.
Yeah.
yeah.
She can count
Unfortunately.
all the way up to it.
And then die and come back and already known she had counted to 10.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway,
You can say so anyway on your, like, beginning.
I did. Issue 1.
He's trying so hard not to say so anyway.
I feel like
And I succeeded.
If you
And then you made it a thing.
if you listen to this and you're not at work, grab a bottle of like liquor, whiskey, or something, and just do a shot.
Yes. Every time I say so anyway, because you will also be counting the number of times I get interrupted in a thought and have to start over.
Which has clearly just been how we run this program.
Yeah.
I feel like instead of, when a book starts once upon a time in the big letters, it just be
Will
so
you-
anyway.
Just keep the cap off, you son of a bitch. Just be an adult and don't you were biting you setting it on the table so hard.
The sound effects, it's great.
That's why I want to get you the standing mic.
Or just headphones. I mean, I'm putting it on a thing. It just clearly isn't as absorbent as the cloth over there. Oh, thank you.
I threw him a beanie, he can put it on. So from here on out, it's A+ quality.
Yeah, from here on out. So Moira's powers, I mean, it was pretty cool because when she reincarnates, she comes back with the memories of her former life, so she can basically live it better.
Yeah.
Something they kind of get into, but they never really mention. I've been wondering, does she... Because it's implied that the timeline's reset, but that's just from one character's perspective of
the world, so everything else goes the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, like after he read her mind on everything, like of course to her it's going to seem like she resets, but I wonder if these worlds just like continue on without her once she's gone, and it just resets for her, or if she like
creates a whole new
world. Well, not even that. Like if she actually just reverses back with all of her memory,
Like goes back in time.
yeah, or like even deleting the world and starting a new one. Like, is it?
That would make her potentially the most powerful character in all of Marvel Universe.
Because theoretically, it should be creating other universes, but if that one character, which we will get into later, but if they are correct on like him not being able to continue after she goes back, then like that, there's some weird implications on that. That like the timeline just ends with her.
Okay, now I'm also confused
I'm
on who you're
confused.
talking about. But this whole book was kind of confusing.
It's
So, if you thought that there was going to be any semblance of a story picked up from Rosenberg, not at all. Not a chance. Not even slightly.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, even a little bit, is that the people who die come back, but also the people he doesn't kill come back. Because Cyclops doesn't die in Rosenberg's
Yeah,
run,
exactly.
But he comes out of a
Which is
fucking
making
egg.
me think that, like, Xavier just capped them all.
Yeah, so I don't understand how it even started because it just starts off like nothing in the past ever.
Yeah, like
fucking
healing
happened
them, like in
ever.
a new. Wait, did you see? Have you seen the Living with Yourself?
Nope.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, what's his name?
Oh, is that Paul Rudd?
Paul Rudd's
Yeah.
thing.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen. I've seen.
So
the
the
trailer
premise
for
of
it.
that is that he's miserable and his life sucks and his outlook on life sucks. And there's a guy at work who used to be like him, but then got like really into life and was suddenly killing it. And he was like, well, look, if you really want to know how my life changed, you got to go to this spa. And he's like, how the fuck is like a hand job gonna make me feel any better? And he's like, not that kind of spa.
I feel like you're starting a word, but you're not. Are you gonna
Spa.
say spaghetti?
No, fuck you. So he finds out it's like a really expensive spa. He calls up. It's $50,000 for him to go there, but he does, and he wakes up feeling amazing, but also terrified because what happens is they just clone him. They kill him, and then they move on. Like, and so the clone thinks
Yeah.
it's him.
It's-
but them killing him didn't work out, and he wakes up in a shallow grave, and so it's like him suck. Like his life sucks because he's both himself and a clone.
What's funny about that to me on this Paul Rudd podcast that we're doing?
Yep.
Is that that is basically what happens in a Rick and Morty episode. So like it seems like they're copying Rick and Morty because they go to that spa place that massages supposed to massage the evil out of them, but it just puts the real them or the more evil versions of them into a vat, and then they're all like super happy on the outside.
Oh, so it creates an evil clone. It sucks out the evil, but as a version of them.
No, not like an evil clone. It's just like the negative aspects of your personality you don't want are separated. Which I get why that would seem like the evil one, but it's not just like evil stuff. It's like because Morty's version isn't evil. The clean version of him is evil because he doesn't have like doubt and shit holding him back.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Yeah.
like the other version of him is all sad and
Yeah, no, I remember it. It's sort of like that, but just the idea being a healthier you is a happier you, and these are all new cells, so they're not diseased or worn out or whatever. Anyway, I was just thinking, what if that's what Xavier did to all those X-Men? Because it does open up with, like, Scott's got his eye back and everything. There's a shallow grave where they just, like, capped each one of them and brought them back to life.
I would love if there was secretly a crossover with Absolute Carnage where like half the bodies in there were just the discarded X-Men that Xavier got rid of.
He's a fucked up dude.
Yeah, he's dressing like the Maker now.
He really is. And I don't understand, too, like, so is this a new body of his, or is this still Phantom X's body?
Yeah, they haven't been clear on that at all. And I have a theory on why they haven't mentioned that. And it's because I don't think Hickman gives a fuck.
Yeah.
So
I think he just started over, basically. I don't think he's looking at anything in the past, because this is not what was going on. They just... How the fuck does this even start? I don't understand it.
it's not really anything that has, like, nothing that for the last few years has any effect on this.
I feel like almost nothing ever has any effect on this.
Yeah. Did he, like, rebirth Cyclops because he wanted the eye back?
Yeah, I think it was just all supposed to be metaphorical, you know, like a fresh start or whatever. And probably, anyone would have wanted the eye back.
Yeah, but why Jean then?
He didn't need the eye anyway.
Right? But no, it did show all the X-Men. Like, he restarted all of them.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's what I'm saying. So, like,
Right.
did he go around and, like, murder them all?
Yeah. Well,
And then...
This is year 10, isn't it?
No, this is...
year one.
Well, no, it is year 10. Year 1 is 10. It's 10 years after the X-Men started.
So they could have died in who knows what.
Yeah. Anyway, so this... Actually, we've done a poor job of explaining this.
Yeah, we're going to Tarantino this. We're going to start with
We're
the
gonna-
juicy bits in the middle to keep you interested. And now we're going to the beginning.
Ironically, though, to a story that's already been Tarantino'd, so you're going to be confused as fuck.
Yeah, this is like the first Iron Man movie.
Um...
We're starting with the bombs and then...
So, the story's broken down into X0, X1, X2, and X3. X0 is Xavier's life before he starts the X-Men, also Moira McTaggart's life, and I guess everyone in the world before the X-Men starts.
It's not just her.
Yeah. X1 is 10 years after the X-Men. X2 is 100 years after the X-Men, and X3 is 1,000 years.
Yeah, so this like starts out with just like Xavier like sitting on a bench with a shit-eating grin, like all like happy as fuck, but like with the goofiest looking face.
You know, it's times like this that it really sucks that you can't say retarded anymore.
I mean, you did anyway.
Nope, I didn't. Not in a way that was used.
I'm not editing that out.
No, don't.
Yeah. But so he's sitting there with
So he's got this tard look, right?
Jesus Christ. So
I don't know these guys.
he's got this. I didn't say anything, but he's got this goofy look on his face.
I couldn't know.
All happy in the park, and this woman just walks up to him.
That's not even one though.
That's, the House of X1. Or the next issue.
That's the next issue.
That's where I wanted to start.
Okay, so
That's where I started.
this story actually starts with
I disagree.
Xavier and Magneto are strong-arming the most powerful like nations ambassadors and everything to recognize Krakoa as a sovereign nation.
Sounds a lot like what you're saying takes place after what I said.
Yep.
Yep. So
That's because
I was
the
going
story is really
timeline-wise.
weird. But even then, it's fucked up. Because we got to go into the past anyway to talk about the future. Because that's the stupid thing that happens. Is that technically, when they're talking about 100 years and at least 100 years in the future is actually in the past because it's a separate timeline of Moira McTaggart's than X0 and
Don't do
X1.
this.
And X3, we have no idea what the fuck that's about.
I got boxes full of Pepe.
But X3, we have no idea what the fuck that's about because it's about, it's some phalanx or whatever the fuck is coming to eat the world and universe
It's
to
pronounced phalanx.
Phalanx, whatever.
Phallus.
Phallus?
There's
It is
There's
phallic.
an N in there. But go ahead with your crazy conspiracies.
It's not. I am explaining it as it is put down.
I can't speak right now.
I thought you did that on purpose.
Conspiracy. You're despicable.
But it is weird, is what I'm saying, man. So issue 1,
God damn it.
Xavier and Magneto, they're strong arming the world powers to recognize Krakoa, which is an interesting take because you kind of know Xavier's always been like a bad guy in a way, and this is the first time you're kind of seeing him act like a bad guy, or at least that's actually the next issue, I think.
Because of you now, I'm picturing him telling off Congress and Billie Eilish is playing in the background. I could tell by the confused look on your face.
No, I know who it is. I was trying to think of the boo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, or whatever that is.
Oh, okay. Because you said bad guy. I was like, what are you talking about? What song of hers?
Her one song.
Hey, I heard the whole album, all right?
I did too.
What is wrong?
It's a good ass album.
You like Donna Lana Del Rey.
Donna Love, right?
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey, yeah.
Do you guys exclusively get your music from Starbucks? Is that how you guys go about life?
It's a nice mix. Royce to 5'9", Lana Del Rey.
Yeah,
Onyx.
that's actually a good song, the Royce. But all right.
Yep. You go ahead with your Xavier.
I've been listening to Caterpillar a lot.
That's
Good song.
Yeah. Good
Anyway.
song, Caterpillar.
It is good.
He's not the one being a dick, though. It's Magneto. I mean, I guess...
No, at the
sent
end.
him
That's
to do
what
it.
I meant. Because at the end of the book... Okay, so you also get introduced to Orcus as a group, which is a really fucked up organization that's like all the super intelligence organizations, but all the most racist ones. They get together and they're like, hey, we're going to make a robot that makes giant robot factories that then go out and kill people, and we're going to orbit the sun with it.
That works so well in the Terminator.
It always gets bigger. They're like, now we're going to make something to make Sentinels. Now we're going to make something that makes something that makes Sentinels.
Well, yeah, it's a singularity. Like it's a classic sci-fi trope. As soon as you make a machine that is smart enough to make a machine better than itself, that's when you're fucked.
Well, I feel like what's coming next? The father mold that makes mother molds that makes master molds.
I think the mother mold.
No, it's going to be the non-binary mold.
Mold.
But
the mother mold. God damn it!
it's a
Clearly
mold.
superior to the father one.
It's the grandma mold. Grandma mold.
Yeah.
It's presidential mode or something.
So they get introduced, but in a kind of a vague way. That they're out there and they're making a thing.
Vague way sounds like a gas station.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
vague way. Do you guys take cash or card?
Yeah, like for some reason they got some weird setup point system.
And then at the end, it ends with a heist by the Brotherhood that they're stealing some stuff, and then it's pretty funny because Sabretooth gets caught, and Krakoan door opens up, which is one of the interesting thing about Krakoa is that its seeds can be planted anywhere, and they create portals. Well, they have 5 different types of seeds,
6.
right? Well, one that creates a space that Krakoa doesn't even know about, which is weird.
Yeah, that's the 6th one. It's like a artificial seed.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the one that cures all sickness from humans. The one that cures mental disabilities from humans.
Well, lots of them. It doesn't cure all. Like, I think when I first read it, that's what I thought. But then going back, like, he was sure to say, like, it mostly, so that there's room for error.
It, like, for the most part, though, it gets rid of, like the one, so there's the one that does the physical, or the sicknesses. There's the one that does the mental health.
And one for dicks, right? Like, it just gives you giant dicks.
Oh, super rock hard.
Yeah.
It's weird. If you're a mutant and you take the health one for humans, it makes you like a fucking Bruce Springsteen song.
Rock hard and eagle.
What? That's Charlie.
No.
Like a rock. But so yeah, there's keep on making this up. There's those two, and then there's the one that enhances mutants. Then there's the one that creates habitats for Krakoa. There's the one that creates habitats that Krakoa doesn't know about, and then there's
And the one that creates portals.
the one that creates portals. Obviously,
So, like,
the
there's
one you said that.
Yeah. There's because there is a main island for Krakoa, and then you can create a portal literally to anywhere Mars, the moon. They do that and then create habitats there. Yeah, the House of Summers is on the fucking moon.
We'll get into it later, but Wolverine lives there with him for some reason.
Yeah, for some weird reason.
In between Wolverine's room and Cyclops' room, Jean's room is. Like, none of them stay with Jean.
No.
But it's implied that they have, like, a three-way relationship there. Which also implies that Wolverine took Scott's last name.
You're right. Logan Summers?
Yeah. Actually, it'd be James Summers.
I guess so.
Jimmy Summers. Jimmy Summers sounds like a Dana Carvey character.
Sounds like some camp counselor that's about to get killed.
That is completely true.
I thought it sounded like a sausage competitor for Jimmy Dean.
That is definitely a victim's name. If your name is if your name is Jimmy Summers and you're listening to this, you're gonna get murdered. Like,
You should change that. You should go by James.
That's a born victim's name.
Little Jimmy Summers down the street.
Yeah. Like, you never hear about, like, oh, have you heard what Jimmy's been up to? It's, did you hear what happened to Jimmy?
So, with the creation of Krakoa, they announce amnesty for all mutants, and they welcome all mutants to go there. So even the villains start showing up, and there ends up being a heist at the end of the book with Toad and Mystique and Sabretooth kill some people, and they all escape through a Krakoa portal, except right as Sabretooth's about to, he gets stopped by a force field from Sue Storm. And then, sorry, I had a burp.
Devin almost choked on his own breath.
No, I was trying to hold it and was like, nope, can't. But that's in the podcast now. I know the fucking running, man.
If we don't know if you guys can hear that at all, but there's people. We're in an office that we pay for that should be professional, and there's people running around upstairs.
Because that's an apartment, and I think it was just little Mexican feet running around because it's a Mexican family, and I think it's just their kids running around. I know, but our podcast is called Mex-Men. Fuck you.
Well, I guess
I can say they're Mexican feet. I know they're Mexican feet.
You know the sound? It's a very distinct pitter-patter.
Yeah. It's quicker because they're shorter legs.
Yeah, their steps are spicier. But yeah, we'll start ignoring that. Hopefully, it doesn't show up on the audio too much, and we'll get back to this story.
Yeah. So Cyclops shows up, and he's like, "Hey, nice to see you guys. Ben, I heard you got married. Awesome."
Totally can hear it. That's exactly how he sounds when I read it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey
guys. This is funny running into you guys, so I'm kind of gonna need Sabretooth. And they're like,
there's nothing like the meandering of a true leader.
And they were like,
we're gonna go out and we're gonna defeat the Sentinels or whatever. You know, you guys just try your hardest.
Did you see that look Sue gave Cyclops?
Oh, bet she wanted a bone?
She wanted that summer sausage.
Yeah.
How did I never think of that?
I said that. Well, it was the Jimmy Summers.
Yeah,
thing.
you said
I made it the sausage competitor.
Jimmy Deeds. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you had a walk to get there, but
checking judges. Point goes to Justin.
Thank you.
I'm not denying it. Economy of words. This is way better. But anyway, so they're all like, how about no? Because he's a criminal, and we just caught him. And he's like, you know what? I see you guys feel strongly about this. Good point. Later. And so he just leaves. It's like, well, I'll just get him later. But
yeah.
When Mystique gets back to Magneto's, she's all like, here's the thing you want. It's like a flash drive. Well, it is a flash drive. And
real quick, as he's stepping through the portal, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, if your son Franklin wants to come,
oh
stay
yeah,
with us, he's got family here."
That was a sick burn.
He was like, "Our policy is the same as Olive Garden, so he's welcome."
Well, I took it more as like, yeah, I know you guys are his parents, but fuck you, his family's here.
Yeah.
So Mystique gives Magneto the flash drive. She's all like, this was fucking hard to get. And he's like, yeah, well, I mean, you did it, though, and we told you to do it, so good on you. She's like, I need more than what you're giving me. He's like, okay, but we need more, too. And Xavier shows up, and he's all menacing. So, like, that shows that he's kind of a dick. Just a little bit.
You're a true character actor.
Yeah.
when I read these books now, that's how what Nolan North is to Deadpool. It's gonna be when I read Mystique. It's gonna be like, yeah.
That's basically House of X1. Powers of 10 is just Moira being like, "Hey Xavier, see you looking dumb and happy. Let me break your mind real fast."
Which it's weird how they, because I will give them credit for this, like, because Moira doesn't really have like a super iconic look to where you see her and you're like, that's Moira.
Yeah, it was really confusing.
She never says she's Moira, but the second she showed up, you like know it's her.
I think she wears green a lot, doesn't she?
Yeah, normally.
Yeah.
I think that's just because they're kind of racist and they make all the Irish people wear green.
Is she Irish?
I don't know, Jean wears green.
McTaggart. No,
Yeah.
she's Scottish.
I don't know. Fucking, aren't they the same?
Racist. Point that
Sort.
out.
Well,
Because
the
of-
white side of me is Irish, so I could kind of.
If people called this Puerto Rican men, we'd be pretty upset.
Well, they wouldn't get the joke. There's no X in Puerto Rico, so it doesn't fit. So they're dumb.
So, that would be them going out of their way.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of other Hispanics that have
They'd be
accents.
walking farther than my Jimmy Summers joke, okay?
Okay. You see, I can tell you feel strongly about this. So, we'll just say that she's Gaelic. I don't know what you're doing over there, but... So...
My head hit the boom, I know.
It actually didn't, which was weird. But, alright, so...
That was actually Powers of 10 you were already going into with the flash drives.
No, it's both.
Oh, it's in both.
Yeah.
Both? Okay.
Yeah. They just, because it picks up the story. So yeah, Moira, and back in X, back in X0, which is Moira's 10th life, she's all like, "Hey, everything you're dreaming about, it doesn't work out."
She's like, the ideas you have, stupid. You plan, stupid. Everything you do, stupid. You need to fix your shit.
Then it jumps ahead to X2, which is actually her 9th life, and it introduces Rasputin and Cardinal, which are two of so Sinister does this fucked up thing where he
Because
just
they trust Sinister.
no they don't because when you look in that back timeline, it shows, because the 9th life is the Apocalypse one, so Apocalypse enslaves Sinister. So it's not that he trusts him so much as like he expects him to do what he says because he's fucking Apocalypse. And Sinister's fucking Sinister, so he's like, nah. And he creates, so he starts splicing mutants together, trying to create more and more Omega level mutants. So like the first batch has like powers with secondary mutations, and the next batch has like tertiary mutations. Some have 4. And then when you finally start getting to the phases that were supposed to be Omega level, you got like a weird hive mind thing that started happening between mutants. And then you also got pacifist mutants that were basically like Nightcrawler at his bitchiest.
In every generation of new clones that they make, are the survival rate drops like a good 10%. Because it starts out with like 99% survival rate, and then they make batch 2 and it's like 92%. And then like drops down to the 80s, and by batch 4 they're at like 67% survival rate.
Which is like an ironic thing too, because they're trying to make more powerful mutants, and they're actually getting less durable mutants.
Yeah, maybe making a bunch of Charizards, just a bunch of glass cannons.
Yeah. Well, Rasputin's pretty dope.
Yeah,
she was.
they're 4 times weak to stealth rock. So
She like straight up takes a Sentinel trying to like grab her, and she just stops it and then blows its arm up.
yeah, well, and they do say that like with Sinister messing with them, like he's ensuring that the survival rates are going down.
Yeah, he purposely was fucking shit up.
Yeah, and they pay him back for all his hard work by publicly executing him in front of everyone.
Oh no, that wasn't even Apocalypse. No, that was he gets caught by the man machine, whatever that was.
That my new nickname. That's
No, because
a great name.
No, they keep bringing that up, the man machine.
He's a man machine.
But that, because in that time, humans are split between two sides. There's humans believing themselves to be like the same way humans always did, like superior or whatever. But then there are humans that are starting to like kind of bend their knee to the machines and find themselves subservient to machines and see the machines as their gods.
That's a great name for a metal song. Bend your knee to the machine.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
Well, that's what they start doing literally. Like they look at Karima, the Omega Sentinel, and Nimrod, the Lesser, as deities. Because at one point, she shows up, and they're like, toward the end anyway, Cardinal stabs this dude, and he's like, why are you even, like, why do you choose this life? Why do you choose to serve them? He's like, my God, blah, blah, blah. And like, there she is. Me. And, Karima's coming up with a fuck ton of Sentinels behind her. But, anyway, I almost said issue 2, but technically 1 of Powers of 10 show that it's the apocalypse future that later, this really is stupid to like not speak of chronologically, because now you gotta explain like almost everything, and then you get to the next issue, and it's like, oh, that's the issue that explains it.
Did you mean to accidentally rhyme those 2 words that don't rhyme?
No,
because you said you gotta explain everything.
No, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, it's gonna be a part of your new hip hop album.
Anyway,
shot.
Fuck. The issue ends with like X3, and it's some weird library where actually I just forgot all about what's her face. Was it Clybel or
Silo Bell?
Silo Bell?
Yeah, the black brain.
Yeah, the black brain.
Not racist. That's
nope.
What
she's actually
called.
pretty white, and her brain is black.
Yes,
like specifically. So it turns out like the Sentinels created a hound program, and black brains were mutant hounds that they created to serve them and betray their kind. That then betrayed, because they birthed natural betrayers, and so they then betrayed the Sentinels.
I swear to God, everything you're saying sounds like a metal song title.
That's what it is. And so it's this weird...
I only speak discography.
So Rasputin, Cardinal, and her, and this guy, Percival, who's already dead by the time they get there, who was helping shield them from the Sentinels. Obviously not well, because he fucking died and they got caught. But they were retrieving some data thing. Also a flash drive? Like, they also were getting, like...
Yeah,
a heist for a flash drive.
Everybody knows that the pinnacle of technology is flash drives, and
that's why 100 years
change.
In 100 years in the future, it's still a flash drive.
It will never change. The same thing that you have porn on right now is what they're going to use in the future.
That's what the nuclear codes are on.
Yeah.
Flash drive.
Hey, man. If there's anything I learned from watching Independence Day is that technology never changes, no matter the species or the time period.
Hey, we exchanged one today. Flash drives all around.
Yeah, and I guarantee
not
that
gonna
this
tell you
is
what on it.
is just filled with porn.
All porn.
Yep, just weird stuff too. He keeps on giving it to me, and like these
someone puts their foot
videos
in
and
what it is. I don't know.
I don't know if I could physically describe what's happening in these videos. I can just say that I'm 90% sure it's illegal.
Okay.
Like
I caught myself.
Real quick, have you ever heard of that website called Normal Porn for Normal People? Because it's just weird shit like...
I expect you to go, right, because there isn't one.
But it's like... It's no like nudity or anything. It's just weird videos of like a woman making a sandwich, or like a woman putting her hand inside of a pie. And it's not really that weird, except for the fact that it's called a porn. Because the fact that you know somebody's jerking off to it is what makes it fucked
really
up.
Weird.
Yeah, that's a weird definition of normal.
Yeah.
Well, what's that? The down blousing? At least that's kind of sexual, but yeah, that's a thing. Where it's just like a woman doing like chore-ish stuff, but you're seeing down her shirt and her boobs are kind of like she doesn't have a bra.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
And it's like kind of just jiggling. Yeah, that's a thing. I mean,
A lot of things.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of research to make sure that you guys are as informed as possible
About porn.
about everything. We stop at no turn, no pages
And
left.
sometimes we'll talk about X-Men.
Yeah. Triple X.
Getting back into one of those times. So,
I like how you went out of your way to try to change up. So anyway, you still said the words.
said so. And then I was trying to get back into the thing, man.
So, leading back into my previous words.
Do you want me to talk about it?
I do.
You want me to
I also want to make fun of you. We can have both.
The X-Men get back to Wolverine and a guy that kind of looks like Magneto, but isn't, because you find out, like, if you read the timeline, it just goes, Apocalypse kills Xavier, Apocalypse kills Magneto, Apocalypse kills whatever, like, it just keeps going. So, Wolverine, the guy who looks like Magneto, is actually a clone who's cloned from, what's her face? Lorna. And Choir, I think.
No.
Are you talking about Rasputin?
I know it's not Choir because Choir's in Rasputin.
Yeah, it's in Rasputin.
Yeah.
There's a psychic. No, Emma. It's Dane Frost is what it said for his genealogy. So him, Doug mixed with Krakoa, and Zorn are the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, which is pretty cool.
Well, Zorn's always best.
Is that the
Yeah,
same
but he's
Zorn?
death. Yeah.
Sort of. I mean,
But it's a different world where he's like a fucking pessimist and shit.
But
Oh,
also,
yeah, because he was all
Because
nice.
Apocalypse fight.
also Zorn is Magneto, but also Zorn's not Magneto.
No.
And
There's
also,
been 2 Zorns.
yeah, but there's
I-
also like
Marvel-
Zorn's brother that is like,
Kind of Zorn?
no, one has like a sun for a brain, and the other one has a black hole.
Then I think this is his brother because he has a singularity in his head. So it's a black hole.
Possibly, but like the
The
sun
Sun was the first one?
but the sun was Magneto.
That
But
was
not really.
That turned out to be a real guy, though.
Yeah, that's a real guy.
I know, but-
Marvel was like,
Fuck you, Morrison.
yeah, they're like, hey, Morrison, fuck off. We like Zorn too much. You can't just make it Magneto, and then you can't kill Magneto.
Dumb.
Yeah, dumb.
Dumb.
Glad we're all in agreement.
I think we
Court
all feel.
adjourned.
I think
Read
Motion is carried.
we all feel very strongly on Morrison's run. I think.
So they bring that flash drive to them. They're all like, cool, we got this. Let's do other stuff now.
Baseball.
It's always baseball.
Jumps into the future, and you find out that the future is like some. It looks like a mutant is chilling with Nimrod, like an evolved form of Nimrod that's like a bird, kind of like a robot bird
Was it
thing.
devolved? It was like not a good Nimrod anymore.
Well, I meant like evolved in a mature sense, because
Oh, okay.
the Nimrod that they show initially is like really childish.
Which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, because they take was it Silo Bell or whatever, her name, the Black Brain person. She gets caught, and they're like, since you're not going to give us the information, we're just going to extract it by this method I came up with, and they threw her in this tube of liquid, and then they just held her there and like, we're eventually going to know what you like won't tell us. I mean, we don't know when we're going to know it, but we'll know it.
Yeah, they're weirdly like apologetic about it, and they're like, my bad, dude, but fuck off, die."
Yeah, kinda. And then in the future, they're trying to restore the Black Brain mutant that was enclosed in there, and they're just like, it's just data now. Like, there's no like person left to restore. So like that was weird. But everything from 1,000 years in the future is weird because you don't know what timeline that's supposed to be. I'm assuming the Apocalypse timeline, but that doesn't make any sense considering what happens later.
I assumed that it was a timeline where that's pretty similar to what's currently going on, except like they fucked up in it by trusting Sinister. And like I assume that this current timeline of like what the books are gonna be is the same shit, except they know not to trust Sinister.
Kinda, I think. Because I think the power structure is really different. That was a world in which Apocalypse ruled everything, and you had no influence by Xavier or Magneto in the mutant world. So Xavier and Magneto are working with Sinister in a way that's much different than when Apocalypse did. Because Apocalypse was just think about how you would
Hopefully they
react to
watch him.
someone forcing you to do something and someone asking you to do something.
Yeah,
But then also it's Sinister, so
he'll fuck him over either way.
yeah.
Just for the shits and gigs.
So in House of X 2, it starts explaining Moira's timeline, and shows just how savage Destiny is.
That was a great fucking issue.
Yeah. So
Again, how savage Destiny is another great. If somebody's in a metal band listening to this, write down all the great metal names that Devin's giving you, and come out with an album.
yeah, like there's all your songs right there. It shows that like Moira's first life was just a normal life, and she had kids, she had grandkids, she died an old lady, and she was just kind of sick a while when she was a kid, and that just turned out to be when her mutant powers manifested, because after she died, she was then back in her mother's womb and then lived a life all over again where she knew how to write and read and all this stuff.
And it's like a prodigy genius,
Yeah, but
she's
she
just
knew she
remembering.
wasn't. Yeah, so
She had a hell of a head start program.
yeah. She realized she wasn't going crazy because she started seeing how events, like if she didn't do anything, would turn out basically how she remembered them, but that she could delineate things by doing things differently. Then she realizes she's a mutant. She learns about Xavier. That one was that's a fucked up timeline. She's like, oh, Xavier is a mutant. Mutants are a thing, and then just gets in a plane and dies.
Yeah.
Like that kind of must
She was
have
like
sucked.
flying to go see him, right?
Yeah.
And then died.
Then let's see what are the other timelines. She then goes to school, like makes it a point to meet Xavier.
It's like a redo in a game, but a super fucking long one.
Yeah.
Because you got to wait all those years. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, I died.
Like in the dumbest part.
Yeah.
Well, it's essentially like she's on her like 10th playthrough of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, but she also should have known that plane was going to go down when you think about it. Like potentially, she could have known that, like, because it would have gone down in another one of her lives.
Yeah, I mean,
She just got on the wrong
but
plane.
they don't really go to the extent of her memory. Like, does she remember like normal things throughout her past lives that she would keep remembering, or does her memory work as in she remembers everything? Because if she just idly saw a news report of like that plane going down or something,
But she would have to know exactly what plane she was going to take before she took it in her next life. She had to know in the life previous.
Sure. But here's what I'm saying. Because she knows everything in the way that we can just remember shit. But you guys would probably remember when a plane just goes down and it's all over the news. Like, it had to have been a local flight, so it had to have been on her news.
But I wouldn't remember the date or time or the flight number.
Well, she was an adult. She was 44.
Yeah, but I what I'm saying, I don't remember like the day that the flight in the Middle East disappeared.
Yeah, fair.
Like planes
Oh, yeah.
go missing all the time.
Sure. But still, it just seems like a thing that, like, she could have known of, like, could have avoided.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends on
Like, it had to have been after the fact. Like, she's back in the womb and she's like, fuck, that plane.
Like it depends on like the extent to how her memory is, because it seems like she just remembers like normal shit, but through,
Like, if you just forgot
like,
that
over and
9/11
over
was a
again.
thing and then you got on that plane.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that would be weird. Like if it was something as big as like 9/11,
Dumb mistake. Try again.
it's like fuck. I knew there was something weird about this date.
Yeah, but how many planes, like, crash out of Scotland?
Yeah, but I don't know that because I don't live in Scotland, so I don't know when any plane crashes. In
Maybe they're
Scotland.
just because, I mean, do they have a reputation for being drunk, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's Ireland.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
again,
those people.
haven't we established there's no difference? So,
I think
that was just you.
your racist ass said that. They're both Gaelic.
you're the one who just said they're both gay.
Lick.
I know some gays look. What are you talking about, man?
God damn it. I
still don't know
I'm
this
not
guy.
editing all this.
Gay women lick all the time.
God damn it. I'm gonna, you know what?
Anyway,
I'm
one
gonna
of those
take that
lives-
whole part out and just rearrange the words to make you sound really weird. Because you've given me enough material.
You don't have the patience.
Oh, you want to bet?
Anyway, in one of these timelines, she realized, like, she decides, okay, being a mutant is a disease, and then she comes up with a cure for that disease, and then the Brotherhood just fucking destroys her lab, and Destiny's all like, hey, you're never gonna do this again, or
they-
I'll kill you every time. Getting louder.
Are they
because we're
Naruto running?
not-
Like,
you can hear that their arms are behind their.
I'm waiting for somebody
backs.
to scream, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch."
I know they are loud.
They're still running upstairs. I'm hoping this doesn't show up on the recording, and it just sounds like we're being weird and talking about it.
Yeah, maybe. At least that's guaranteed that we're going to be on the recording talking
But
about it.
they're consistently running. That's the weird thing.
So, they fuck her lap up and they have her tied to a chair, and Destiny's talking to her. She talks about how like she's an odd mutant because she can't be detected by other mutants, which would also explain why Xavier can never read her mind without her wanting him to. Like, because they say it's like a defensive mechanism she has, that she's invisible to like sensory mutants. And Destiny's like, look, you're gonna go back, and when you come back, you're going to use your powers to help your people instead of hurt your people. Because even if you only wanted this for people who would want a cure, the government's not going to just let you keep it. They're going to take it, they're going to weaponize it, and people are going to pay because of you. So you're going back and never doing this again because I'm older than you, my powers manifest before yours, and so even if you think you're going to come back and then find me and kill me before I can do this to you, I will have known you were going to do that. And then I'll find you first and kill you first because, again, I'm older than you. And, and if you die before your powers manifest, then you don't come back. Like, that's it. And she reveals that she only sees 10 lives for Moira and possibly 11 if she makes the right decisions, is what she tells her.
Did they say that she's always goes through a period of being sick as a child?
I think it's implied. They don't say it, but it's implied because that's when her mutant powers manifest.
Because
they go out of their way to say it the first time.
It seems like she still remembers before, and it wouldn't she wouldn't remember until her powers came back. Like, that's what you would think.
Yeah, but
she seems to remember as a baby.
She has to. It's implied that she has to go through certain checkpoints.
I think it gives
throughout her life.
Her power extends to give her those memories when she's born, but she doesn't have the reincarnation power until after she remanifests her powers.
Yeah, because I guess I just assumed that once they manifested the first time, they just stayed around.
I think what Hickman ended up doing a lot while writing this is he would write himself almost into a corner and then create
do some
a loophole that allowed him out of that corner.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Hickman just saying, like, fuck you, like, my story is more important than reality.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that.
Than, being real, I'm going to create some stupid thing because my story is more important than that. Which, I can respect the balls of that.
Yeah. But then probably the most fucked up part is she's like, but I don't want to die like this. And she's like, well, this is a poorly lived life, so it deserves a poor end. And then she's like, hey, Pyro, do it slowly so she knows what a bad life feels.
It.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fucked up. So fucked up.
But they gave Pyro something to do, and they don't do that a lot. So I'm always happy when they give Pyro literally anything,
to do. Even when they kind of make him sound like a mama's boy.
He's Australian.
No, I know, but he's like, yes, mother. Right away, mother. I'll burn it to a crisp for you, mother.
Did they say which Pyro that was?
I'm assuming the older one, because that was before. Like earlier in her life.
Yeah.
That
makes sense.
The new one who's gay with Bobby.
I don't know why that's important.
Because that's the distinguishment. It's like, because the new one...
I would say the non-Australian.
The new one has a sexual relationship with Bobby Drake.
Do we know it's went that far? Yeah.
But I'm saying he's young. So I don't think it's him. He didn't run around with the Brotherhood.
All right.
Avalanche was there, though.
Hey, they gave Avalanche something to do.
Yeah, he was in a panel.
The most he's done is X-Men Evolution. that's
He kind of wanted to date Shadowcat.
In X-Men Evolution?
Yeah.
No, he straight up wanted to. Like, it wasn't kind of. He joined the X-Men for her.
Yeah. So powers. Oh no, we go into House of X next, right? It's House Powers, House Powers, Powers, House.
We're in Powers 2 after that.
Powers 2 after, okay, yeah. No, Powers 3.
We left off. House 2 is where Moira dies.
Yeah, but Destiny.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Then after House 2 is Powers 2.
Are you guys okay?
No, they.
Isn't it in your notes?
I don't remember. Anyway, the next one, the fucking fourth book, is back to Moira's 10th life. And they show Xavier going to Magneto, and that's when they like reveal everything to Magneto. Like, hey, you fucking fail all the time. Everything you do sucks. Like what Moira did to Xavier. Oh, actually, going back to the last issue, because this was interesting, is that they do show that then Moira tries, like she goes back to Xavier, falls in love with Xavier. They tried to do the X-Men together. They called the X-Men versus Avengers thing the Lost Decade. That was weird. Almost as if they're trying to nix that out. That like that's when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, so is that being canceled from current continuity?
I mean, I could see them trying to do something like that just to, because obviously they're trying to reclaim old X-Men fans, like, and get them to feel better about how Cyclops is. Because obviously when they do newer movies, he's going to be a huge part of that. So I could see them to try to get rid of the things that
The stigma.
I mean, we're cool with.
That
Most
they
people
put
think
on
it's
them?
negative.
Yeah, but they're the reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like they get shown as like a really dark spot for the timeline for the X-Men, but like in that moment you read AVX, like they make the world into a paradise, and then the Avengers got to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fucking Steve.
And they show that they try to do something, like she goes back to Xavier early on, and without Magneto's help, she becomes kind of pessimistic, and then they create their own society, but then the Sentinels come anyway and blow up that society, and then she comes back as just a fucking assassin, and she takes out the entire Trask fucking bloodline. And then Sentinels happen anyway, so she realizes, oh, Sentinels are inevitable. They're always going to show up.
That is dope when they just have her going around assassinating everybody. Like,
So then, instead of approaching Xavier, she approaches Magneto, and Magneto's like, what the fuck's going to happen? And then wrecks everything, and then the X-Men and all the human heroes together fuck up Magneto. She's like, shit, should have saw that one coming.
yeah. It's kind of his thing.
And
It's
so
like
then-
it's like killing Nazis and getting beat by the X-Men. Those are his two main things before controlling metal.
They gave him props though, because it took more than the X-Men. It took all the heroes.
Oh, yeah. And that's such a dope panel, too, where they're all, like, descending on him in the air.
It looked kind of like upside down, but everyone's falling on him, like
Yeah.
all the heroes.
And then she's, like, in the background, like, on some piece of metal just falling, too.
He's like just floating her around everywhere, like an animal.
And then that's when she's like, well, fuck, I tried everything but Apocalypse. And then goes to Apocalypse, and that's her entire 9th timeline. So into 4, back at the 10th timeline, they talk to Magneto. Magneto's like, I don't trust you, Xavier, because we're always going to be at ideological odds. And they're like, for real, though, trust us this time. And he's like, okay. And he takes his helmet off. And then that's when she's like, you suck, you fail. Here's all the times you suck, and you fail, and you suck, and you fail. And he's all like, why would you show me how much I suck and I fail?
I just gotta say that the way you were saying "suck" and "fail" sounded like fucking Eminem. Like the shit needed to be.
I tell you what, though, Hickman's dialogue is fantastic. There's so many good lines,
There are a lot of good lines.
especially from Magneto. When Moira was like, "Who decides what's right and what's wrong, what's good and evil?" And Magneto's like, "I do. I decide."
Yeah.
I just want somebody to put in his line from the X-Men arcade game that they never put in, which is "Welcome to Die."
Welcome to die.
It's the best part
remember
of
that,
that
yeah.
game.
Welcome to die. Anyway, back in
Shot.
X1 of the timeline. I said anyway, not so anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Big difference.
Giant difference.
So much big difference.
Scott's given a mission from that flash drive that Mystique had stolen. It was schematics of Mother Mold. So he has to go form a team so that they can go and take care of that. And they're like, by the way, it's a station that's orbiting the sun, and there's like 3,000 people on board, and they're all these like fringe intelligence groups, highly trained, working together, super racist against us.
So you know
And
how
have
like you know like you'll how sometimes when you're reading a comic you'll hear music in your head to like fit the action scene. Every time they did anything with Mother Mold, Mother by Danzig was stuck in my head throughout the entire point of that. Which you guys aren't metal guys.
No. I think I know what it is.
Mother.
Yeah.
Tell your children not to run my word.
Yeah. But that had a good line too in it. Is where they're like, do you think a thing is even possible to be done? I think Magneto says to Scott, and Scott's like, does it need doing? Then it'll get done.
Yeah, that was dope.
That's pretty
Do
dumb
the
moment.
fake with the did and the done.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Way to make it worse. I was like, hey, here's this really dope line. Oh, is it dope? Let me make it stupid.
Pull the shit all over it.
But it kind of is like that bada bing and bada boom. I don't know why the X-Men are Italian.
I don't know why.
I think that's
I don't know. You'd think we'd be making the Mexican, but considering
Italian's just a more fun accent to say just fucking gibberish with though, because like you can't like Italian you can just go I forgot a bit of food, but like it sounds like Italian words.
So it then shows that in the future, 100 years from then, but in the apocalypse timeline, that the mission that they are on, the Horsemen, Rasputin, and Cardinal, is to actually, like the thing that they had stolen wasn't the information of when Nimrod came online, but where that's at. So all of it's about trying to stop Nimrod from coming online. That's actually something that happens is like Xavier's like, they're making something even worse, and Scott's like, what do you mean even worse? They already have Sentinels that like adapt and learn, and they're like, it's a Nimrod, and he's like, oh fuck.
Which how are they so? Since when are they that powerful? The X-Men fought a shitload in Second Coming.
Yeah, but they were scared as fuck.
Yeah, but Namor punched right through a head. That was it.
Can you post this picture later on the Facebook page because from the upside down angle, Apocalypse looks like Blastoise.
Yeah, she posted upside down.
Yeah, post it up. Yeah, just kind of show it to Devin at the angle that because he looks like Blastoise. And this is real off topic, but I keep on forgetting, and I think this is probably the best time to ask you, or if anybody at home could do this for me. If you're bored, just draw a centaur, but without the front horse legs. So it's more of like a half human, half horse.
And his ass is just a horse.
But either like running and like, but not having the four legs, just the back two legs, or like the face flying into the ground. It's just something I want to see.
I feel like that would suck. You're like a human basically, but just a horse ass.
Yeah.
Like your whole ass.
So you can send that to the Mex-Men Facebook page or
even worse,
the Twitter.
It's just like a horse top, right? But like it has human legs. Oh,
that you'd be just like a horse head or like the
no, like the whole top.
All right.
With just human legs. You get no speed. No.
None at all.
But like it's super sexy legs. Like
They're not even built. It's just like with high heels on.
So stupid.
I know this is the most random shit, but I've been literally meaning to ask you for like 2 weeks and I keep forgetting. That's just something I want to see.
Anyway, so it shows that their mission in that future past the apocalypse timeline,
Which we didn't know it was the apocalypse timeline though at this time.
No, yeah,
We don't
that
know.
gets like in the next issue they show that.
It gets on apocalypse.
So the thing they stole initially was something that told them where the Nimrod intel would be, and then the Krakoa Ramsey character is able to decipher where it is, so they go. And then it shifts to the future, where there's that phalanx, or whatever. Is that how you're...
Phalanx.
Phalanx.
Phallus?
Phallus.
Where the phallus? Where the little...
You're not pronouncing the N or
shriveled-
the X.
The shrivel dick. That's what we're getting at.
The feces.
That's what we're getting to. It just starts absorbing stuff, but I don't know exactly... that whole thing is confusing.
Well, you skipped over Nimrod's hilariousness. When he was trying to give that speech, to those two lesser dudes.
Oh yeah,
He
that's
fucking
right. Yeah.
gave a speech to their dead bodies because he didn't like
Yeah.
their response.
Where he's talking and he starts talking to them, and one of them is like kind of shitty. He's like, "No, please, just keep talking to yourself."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just tired." And he's like, "Oh, are you?" And then he looks at the other one. He's like, "Are you also tired?" He's like, "Nope, not at all." He's like, "Don't believe you." Vaporizes both of them.
Picks up his skull and just keeps talking to him.
Yeah. He talks for them. It's like, "So, tell me, what was the?"
Am I remembering this wrong, or does he also call more people in?
No.
All right, I'm just because in my head, I guess he disintegrates them and is like, "Somebody come listen to me."
Bring some more people in.
No, he's shitty.
he's
shitty.
You know, he's not a very. He's like Hitler. They're both just not very nice people.
No.
Not. I would say I wouldn't want to hang out with them. Like.
Yeah. That's brave of you to admit.
Nowadays, it is.
Anyway,
You know, I'm gonna go on record. Nazis are bad.
House of X2, I think.
I thought that was Groot, but yeah, it's Doug and Krakoa.
Yeah, it just looks like Groot. Yeah. So the story continues on in that apocalypse space but now like the battle's turned and his horsemen are all getting fucked up, and they flash over to Cardinal. He's dead, and Rasputin's holding him, and
I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but because you said the battle's a turn, I thought, how has Lazy Susan never used as a slogan, "Now the tables have turned"? Because that would be so fucking perfect. But, sorry, go ahead with what you were saying.
what?
Do you know what a Lazy Susan is?
No.
It's a little table that the top spins around.
Jesus.
So, I don't know how they haven't used that as a slogan, like, "Now the tables have turned."
That is actually a really good point. Now that I know what Lazy Susan is.
At least, all right. But yeah, we can get back. I just had to. It was. You ever have a thought you can't move on from anything until you say it?
Yep. Yeah. So, at one point, Omega Sentinel, Karima, she tells Nimrod, "Hey, mutants shown up in like where the one guy was preaching to convert into like to take the machines as your deities and to convert by like making part of your body mechanical or whatever." They show up there and start
like
fucking up shit.
like the U-Men.
Kinda.
Tank treads instead of legs.
That'd be fucking dope. Like in Fallout, when you get robot companions, you can just have.
Isn't there what's that group? The Reavers.
Yeah, the Reavers do that.
Yeah.
Tank treads.
One dude does have tank treads.
Every time I've seen them, it's just like a guy with a metal hand.
Really?
Yeah, like that's what, at least when I always see them. But they're always fighting Wolverine when I see him.
Well, yeah, because then he gets that hand cut off again. It's probably how it got cut, like a metal in the first place.
Well, you should have got spider legs instead of tank treads.
Yeah, well,
And they speak.
that didn't work for Dark Beast either.
And they speak like Val Kilmer in Tombstone.
They anyway, Karima is like Nimrod. They're over there doing some shit, and he's like, "I don't give a fuck."
Perfect impression.
They ain't shit to me. It's like either they're just doing it because they're stupid and because who we're talking about are mutants and mutants are stupid, or they have ulterior motives and we can just wait to see what that is. And she's like, I still think we should check it out. So she goes to fight them. Meanwhile, he's doing whatever he's doing still, and the other mutants show up. Apocalypse, Wolverine, the Ramsey dude.
Gordon?
No, the Doug, the Groot-looking motherfucker, the Doug Krakoa mix. I can't remember what his name is in the comic. But they go to where the information for Nimrod is, and Nimrod sees that and he's like, "Oh, so it was ulterior motives." And then he shows up, kind of blows the place up. He's like, "So what are you guys looking for here?" It's kind of just a data bank. And then he starts fucking him up. Immediately blows Wolverine up, so he's all fucked up. And then goes back to Omega, and it looks like the battle turned for the worse for Rasputin and them, and she's now holding Zorn, and she's like, telling Omega don't come any closer. He's got a singularity in his head, and if I take this mask off, you're gonna be fucked. And she's like, you wouldn't. And she's like, okay. And rips it off, and then they explode. Except if it's a dark hole that's getting erupted there, like, you think it would just take everything then? It's a fucking dark hole.
It depends the size of a dark hole. Some dark holes will go out. Like, I think if a dark hole is like the size of a quarter, it will, like, collapse within itself before anything would actually be sucked into it.
Oh, well, it fucked them up.
Maybe it was a silver dollar.
I mean, it's got to fit his head.
I just realized, though, that they use two different types of singularity within just these comics. Because, as we said earlier, the singularity in, like, sci-fi usually is, like, when robots realize that they can make stronger robots than themselves. And then also the singularity of, like, like a black hole singularity. Like, I don't know. I just found that interesting that they kind of use both terms.
Yeah.
Straight up punched the mic.
I did not. Literally my nail flicked it by accident.
That was a lot of flicks.
It caught right here on the edge of it when I did that.
That sounds painful.
No, it felt like I barely touched it.
Well, because you don't have headphones, so it sounded much more painful. Devin's bleeding right now.
Anyway, the Nimrod starts calling more, like, versions of him. So I think he's just like a higher intelligence one, and then they're just like other, like, tankish robots. Basically, like how they differentiate bitch sentinels from, like, elite sentinels.
Yeah, he's Skynet, and they're a bunch of Terminators.
Yeah,
like low-class Terminators that haven't even, like, established themselves enough to get skin.
Someone watched the new Terminator movie.
I haven't.
Really?
Not yet.
Oh, it's just in your brain then.
No, Arnold movies are always in my brain.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I don't know why you said no and then confirmed what I said.
What?
I said it's in your brain then, and you said nope, it's in my brain.
No, I said it's always there.
Guess what?
At all times.
Okay, I failed to see the difference.
I don't think I said
what we said.
If I play this back and listen to it, you will see that I did not perjure myself.
Okay. So Wolverine's all like, "Hey, we found the thing, the MacGuffin. You should take, and the Groot-looking dude opened up into a portal because that's what he was all along, was just a doorway. And,
he's a doorman.
He's a doorman. I'm a goo man. It's a great show.
The information, they stole that information. That's what they...
Yeah, of when Nimrod came online.
They stuck it right inside Moira.
So Wolverine's all like, "Hey, Apocalypse, get out of here!" And he's like, "I'll hold him off." And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You take it. You go. You look like an idiot right now. You're half melted."
It's like X-Men narrated by Justin Roiland. you go ahead and you take the thing.
So then it's cool. You see Apocalypse like fighting a bunch of Nimrods, but they're beating the shit out of him. Yeah. And Wolverine goes back to Asteroid K, where is like their home base.
Asteroid Kyle.
Yep.
It's actually
you can tell because of all the
it's just monster everywhere.
Well, I was gonna say the drywall dust everywhere.
Oh, they're giving their speech. Hole in the wall of every man. Every mansion. Oh, that would be a cool idea, though, is like a monster fridge that is like embedded in the wall of holes you made while angry. I think Devin's joking now.
Okay. A lot of fridges.
Not like a tiny fridge for each one. They punch a bunch of holes into a giant rectangle.
Wolverine opens the sarcophagus that was on Asteroid K, and it's revealed that that's Moira, and she was being like suspended there in like, what's it called? Stasis. And she's all like, "Oh, you guys got the thing?" And they're like, "Yup." And they shove it in her chest. It's like, that's a thing. It's like they made it's like a crystal, what they found with the information, and she's got this weird circle thing on her chest. And Wolverine's just like, "Yeah, Apocalypse made this," and just shoved it in her chest. And she's like, "Oh, now I know all the things."
All of the things.
And he's like, "All right, ready to go back." And she's like, "Do what you do best." And what he does best, stabs her in the gut.
Have you heard of a little something called a thing?
A thing?
Because I know all of them.
Yeah, she does. Because that's when she goes back, and it's revealed all along. It's from that point she starts her 10th life, and that's when she sees Xavier, and then they go to Magneto. But we've already said that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's when they reveal it.
Now we'll commence by redoing the entire story over again.
Nope. So now we get to my favorite part of it, issue 3
orgy?
of House of X. No, because this is the one where they go to not the raft.
Nimbus?
No.
Orcus.
Azkaban?
Fuck. No, it's the prison.
Orcus?
That's Sabretooth's at. Orcus is that group.
Yeah, I thought that's where they were
I thought
going.
it was the raft.
No,
They just went to the
no
courtroom.
Project Achilles.
Oh, yeah,
Achilles.
yeah, yeah.
Because
They
they
had
were
a
like,
whole-
Achilles is a prison that only is even able to hold 30 people because it's supposed to hold the most dangerous.
They had a whole page on that. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I know. There's
Why
so
they
many
put
of
the
those.
Sentry on the raft? If that thing existed, why was the Sentry in the
Because
raft?
this was just newly created, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's just creating things left and right, pulling them out of his
Yeah,
ass.
he just wanted to make things. That's not people can talk about, Achilles base, and it would have been something that Hickman created. Anyway,
God, I hope Al Ewing takes over this
It's-
run when they change writers.
it's Sabretooth on trial, because of course he is. And that's so weird. Like, my earliest memory of Sabretooth is literally him in a courtroom because of the 90s X-Men, because that's how he's introduced. He's on TV in a courtroom.
That's
like
how
throwing
everybody
shit.
was introduced.
Basically, like on the news with
Yeah.
Claremont.
That's how every single character is introduced in Claremont. They're in court on the news.
No, Cyclops, he got a dope ass fucking introduction. It's like fucking energy beams. Fucking from pro, bam.
Yeah,
But
but
smoke going around, saves the damsel in distress.
yeah, but the
I mean,
rest of the
sure,
X-Men
it's
are on
Jubilee,
the rest of the X-Men are on the news because they're trapped.
Yeah, or they're going to court, or they're waiting for their day in court, or they're in jail because they
Court.
did some shit. Court. Anyway, so they're like, here's all this shit he did, and also he's got a real bad attitude.
A attitude.
Bad attitude. And they go to his defense attorney, and he's like just fucking freaking out. Like, our official stance is that you got the wrong guy. He was there under duress. He did not do anything.
How can you have the wrong guy and he's there under duress?
I know. Like he was a part of that group under duress.
It also
And
wasn't
he's
there.
wrong, man. Yeah.
He was so upset he didn't do those crimes.
Just don't put him in prison because they'll kill me.
I'm here under duress.
And he asks Sabretooth, is like, how do you plead? He's like, oh, I'm guilty. I definitely got a bad attitude. Didn't do any of the other stuff, but yeah, I did.
He's like a 90s video game mascot.
Kind of is. Anyway, they're getting ready to sentence him and everything, and Emma shows up, and she's like, nope, diplomatic immunity because we're being recognized as a sovereign nation, and that's what we're extending to all mutants, and we don't get judged by you anymore. And this is a moment that I really like, because so that one officer, you're looking right at it too. She pulls her gun up. She's like, "No, fuck this. He's a bad person. You're not taking him out of here. He's staying." And even one of the cuckoos is like, "You could totally leave the shackles on him, though. We don't want those off."
Yeah.
But she's like,
There's 4 telepaths there. I think
Yeah.
they could have them under control.
"Well, I guess." But also, it's still Sabretooth. So there's in the dialogue there, she tells her that she's not going to do something, but that line is a direct implication that she scanned her brain and knows that she just did anal. He wrote it in there. That's the joke. I laughed so hard when I realized that.
I
The
forgot.
wording on that was weird to me, though.
The wording is weird
what's
because
the
he's
wording?
saying it around it. Okay, so when someone tells you to stick something in a place, they're usually talking about your asshole. Like, that's just the thing. Like, stick it up your ass, or that's the expression. So she walks around the expression,
Yeah,
but says it in a weird way about where your boyfriend left you.
She says, normally I dominate that little mind of yours and make you stick that gun where your last boyfriend left you.
That's an anal joke. That's an anal joke.
It is, but it's worded weird.
I know. That's why I didn't get it the first time, but I reading it earlier, I started laughing so hard.
Between that and the sextant, man.
Yeah.
Like she's like, and I'll pretend like you could have stopped me.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just like, we're not going to fuck each other up. We're getting out of here. We're taking Sabretooth.
But it's weird now that, like, mutants are being dicks. Like, Celeste came in there like, oh, look at the monkeys playing tools.
I think that's just them being pompous. They're a group of pompous people.
Yeah.
Like, Emma and the Cuckoos, they take after it. They just have that air about them.
Yeah.
She always does.
About, like, rich, overprivileged white people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've always
they're
been, like,
jerks
snooty.
with like good hearts.
I guess they're always true.
At the end of the day.
One is literally made of diamonds.
Yeah.
Didn't they
bougie.
I think they went diamond in War Song, that's what I was saying, but I don't think they ever went diamond again, the Cuckoos.
I don't remember.
I've never heard of them going diamond.
Yeah, that was weird.
I've only heard double myrrh.
While we're on that
I was gonna say
subject,
platinum
because
and
we were talking
pearl.
about them being dicks, Quentin Quire tries to bring one of them back, the one that died in New X-Men.
Yeah.
She comes back and he like really wants to date her. As soon as she comes back, she sees him and the first thing she says is "ew."
That's fucking great.
That is awesome.
He was such a sad boy after that.
I don't. Is that one of our lost episodes, or is that?
No, I got it in my head. I'm a sad boy.
That's great. Yeah. So this issue though, after this happens, Scott comes back in, says he's found a team to go and take out the mother mold, and then goes with that team and shoots off into space. And they allude to stuff like how much of a suicide mission it's going to be, and that Scott's afraid in his mind when he's still doing it.
We haven't even mentioned the birthing process.
No, we've talked around it. We've talked about clones and stuff. So
It's not
Yeah,
really
but I
been
feel like
mentioned.
it's very important.
a very important thing is to actually read the shit that we're going to cover before we cover it, and then know what we're talking about, and then just think of all this as commentary, really. Because sometimes we do a really shit job.
Well,
That's-
but also this is for entertainment.
That hasn't
Yeah.
happened yet. The birthing process hasn't been talked about in these first 6 issues.
What they did to our boy, though.
Oh, I know. But that's in the
They
next one.
ruined him.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Next episode. For...
Yeah, no, it's because it's the first issue of the next one. What ends up happening. So they get there, and the Orcus people on the base are all like, what the fuck? We got a problem. A ship's coming this way. We totally didn't see it. Which is funny when they're talking about space shit, because they're like, it's 25 million miles away. That's so hard to stop. And it's like, you just said 25 million miles. You'd think you'd be able to stop it, but, space shit. But I like the way that guy gets written, because he's just a random dude who's the husband to, that chick. The Orcus lady who's in charge.
Yeah.
I know, like, it's not what her job is, but Orcus Lady makes it sound like she works at a cleaning company.
Yeah. Or what's that that company that kills the insect?
Orkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was Orca whale? Isn't it a whale?
She's the whale queen.
That's offensive.
Sorry, just like the ambassador for the whales. Anyway, they realize that the X-Men are on their way, so that to even know that they exist, they have planned something. Like, they know too much, way more than they should know. So they have to assume they know way more information. So they're like, okay, they're going to come to the hangar because they got a doctor ship anyway, so we're going to divert all our resources there. And then they show up in the exact spot that they need to be, cutting through the the ceiling, I guess, the outer layer of the ship to get into the base. And like right before that, they send Nightcrawler in to recon to make sure that their plan, their schematics match what is actually there. And that's when he sees Karima, and there's that moment of like, oh, hey. And she's like, hey.
I keep on wanting to think her name is Karima Abdullah-Jabbar.
It's funny.
It's weird that he goes, they have an Omega Sentinel. Isn't there only one?
Yeah, but the concept
And they have it.
is like, yeah. And they have it.
Well, we'll call her
Yeah.
by name. They have an Omega Sentinel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it
Omega.
is weird
Karima.
because yeah, but that's a weird thing Hickman
She's a
does.
person.
Because so he shows up and she's like, "Hey, Kurt," and he's like, "Hey, Karima. So you're picking sides?" And she's like, "So you guys left me out? So yeah, like you guys made sides first." And he's like, "All right, peace." And the woman there, the Orcus lady, she's like, fucking, we got a mutant here, and she's like, his name's Nightcrawler. Like, so she like calls him Kurt, but then she just gets kind of shitty with her, like kind of like he has a name, but also we gotta kill him.
Kill him by name, please.
But not his birth name.
Like it's this weird thing of like they respect each other, but also they're trying to kill each other, kind of. He shows back up. He's all like, "Yeah, they got an Omega Sentinel, but our schematics are good." And it's the guy is her husband, and he's like, "Okay, so we got to make a what does he call it?
A rational decision.
Like an irrational decision." But he says something first that's a perfect word to describe it. And out of the gun he has, creates a bomb and just blows himself and that sector and their ship up, and that's where the book ends. It's just like him going, "Oh, X-Men, you got a plan? Fuck you!"
I was hanging on every word you were saying until you set up.
Yeah.
Like he blew himself and the sector and the entire building up.
This dude managed to turn his gun into a bomb.
He's
He's fucking hardcore.
Before
fucking
they
MacGyver.
cut a hole in the ceiling. They were already cutting a hole in the ceiling, and he built a whole damn bomb before
But
they cut to
see,
the ceiling.
and here's the thing, and this is actually one of the reasons I like Hickman's writing. And then it actually bummed me out reading X-Men 2. But he, like, you're supposed to not like those people, and immediately you realize how much they love each other. How much, like, he's like this, they think they're the hero, obviously, and he's like this cavalier, making jokes as he knows he's about to kill himself for what he believes is the greater good, and, like, the heartbreak she's having in that moment. Like, yeah, they can go fuck themselves because they're terrible people, but also, like, in that moment, you end up feeling something.
His name is
Really?
Erasmus.
Huh?
His name is Erasmus.
Oh, well, that's a stupid name. That took me completely out of it. Never mind. Fuck it all.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Hickman?
Fuck that guy.
Erasmus. Is
Yeah.
His name. 3 syllables.
Sounds like
The master of harassing.
sounds like a weird winter holiday where you give each other ass-shaped presents. Or it's like,
Or you just, like, bug people
Or-
constantly during that time of
or
the year.
during December you scream it at a girl at work while you grab her boobs. Merry Erasmus.
We were thinking of sexual harassment.
Yeah. Sorry, we just keep calling
That's
her.
probably
That's
his
an April.
nickname. Like in the bed, it's sexual Erasmus is here.
The trademark on that character name.
Now he's fucking Chippendales dancer and shit.
It's just Jeremy Piven.
No, this guy was way more likable than Jeremy Piven.
I look. That speech was horrible. Like Scott's like, "Yeah, we could die," and Magneto's like, "No, you won't die. We'll remember you." Peace.
I know. He's like, "You'll be fine. You'll still be alive in our hearts."
Yeah, that's how it came off.
He's like, "Yeah, real easy for you to say. I would be the one dead."
Knowing full well that they can rebirth the entire team.
But that was really weird. Well, yeah, but they, audience.
We don't know that.
Suspense.
Yeah.
But
But it's
he
weird
does.
in retrospect for the characters.
Scott says to Xavier and Magneto, "I found the team that understand the consequences and the gravity of the situation, and they've all decided to go." And then when they're about to leave, they're like, "Wait, we're not taking any plants with us? We're not taking any. How are we going to leave? How are we going to get away?"
Anybody else?
And they're
Justin
like-
is making the international symbol for smoking weed.
No plants.
But they're like,
We're like,
"Yeah,
not
you're
bringing
not
any
planning
plants,
for
man.
you're seeing us. This is if we only succeed, not if we fail, and you don't want to give Mother Mold an idea of what we have and how Krakoa works." So that implied that they actually did not know it was a suicide mission, and that they thought, "Oh, we would just leave. Why wouldn't we take the convenient thing with us?" And so he kind of just lied. It's kind of just like, "Oh, they know the risks," and they're like,
When I'm
"Wait,
in
what are the
charge,
risks?"
when I'm in charge, every mission's a suicide mission. So, you're just tying your shoe in the middle of the fucking podcast. That couldn't have waited 10 minutes.
Well, I think
It really couldn't. I told you, man. Hard out.
that blew up, and that was the end of that issue. Their ship blew up, and that's their only way home. Cliffhanger.
Yeah. And that was book 6, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
You're gonna use your sign-off line?
my sign-off line. I don't have one yet.
Yeah, I thought we decided last time.
Where I meandered.
That's for today.
Yeah, that's
That's for today, not for tomorrow, unless you want it to be.
So that has been this issue of Mex-Men. Remember to go check out the Facebook page and the Instagram where we post pictures of and panels of everything that we talk about on here on the Facebook page. So if you dig through those, you'll see like Apocalypse looking like Blastoise and the different things that we talk about. Go like the Twitter. Everything's at Mex-Men Podcast.
And buy the shit we sell. TeePublic right now.
We're having the shirts on TeePublic. Those will should definitely be available by the time this is out.
Which is weird that you had to say that then.
Yep. Well, because what if they're not?
Well, you said they would be, so.
Oh, I said hopefully.
We kind of control that, but all right.
Hey, guys, I do the outro. So yeah, that's been this issue of Mex-Men. And what was my line again?
That's for today.
That's for today.